Let's take a trip through time with 15 forgotten sodas we badly want back. It's not just a tasty drink, it's like a storybook of our past. From parties way back in the 1700s to chilling with a movie, today's soda has been there fizzing up and reflecting our world in every sip. Giants like Coca-Cola and Pepsi are like kings of the fizzy realm, but alongside their successes, there are tales of sodas that didn't quite hit the spot and brands that vanished because of it. And even though some of these drinks are gone, people still long for their sweet return with petitions begging for another taste. 1. Surge. Surge was the ultimate 90s soda that many people fondly remember. That electric yellow can, buzzing with attitude. It wasn't just a soda, it was a symbol of the 90s. Even if you weren't a kid back then, you probably felt its neon glow pulse through pop culture. But like a half-empty can left under the couch, Surge vanished in 2003, leaving a citrus-shaped hole in our hearts. It had that same vibe as Mellow Yellow and Mountain Dew, but it took things to the extreme. When you cracked open a Surge, you knew you were in for a caffeine kick. Perfect for those times when you needed a little extra oomph. It was the drink of choice for teenagers hanging out with their buddies, skating around and rocking their airwalks. Surge even had its own set of urban legends, especially back in the days before the internet was what it is now. And even though Surge is hard to come by these days, its fans haven't forgotten it. There are still groups online where people share memories and even campaign for its return. Every now and then, you might get lucky and find Surge in a Coca-Cola freestyle machine at Burger King. But for those who remember the 90s and the role Surge played in that era, it'll always hold a special place in their hearts. And who knows, maybe fans' relentless thirst will electrify the Coca-Cola execs and bring back the surging sensation. But until then, let's crack open another forgotten soda. Remember that bizarre blue concoction that promised to turn you purple? Yes, Orbits, that clear beverage filled with mysterious floating orbs. It promised an out-of-this-world flavor experience. But let's be honest, the real mystery was what those little balls actually were and tasted like. Some loved the novelty, others found it, well, weird. Whatever your opinion, there's no denying that Orbits was a one-of-a-kind, fizzy experience. But wait, there's more. Just when you thought the beverage world couldn't get any more unexpected, along came Crystal Pepsi. 3. Crystal Pepsi, the drink that promised transparency, but ended up leaving everyone, well, confused. Remember that clear cola craze of the 90s? Sure, it looked cool, but did it taste good? Let's just say the jury's still out on that one. And while some might yearn for another sip of that crystal mystery, it probably won't quench their thirst anytime soon. But hey, speaking of drinks with bold choices, get ready for Josta. But this wasn't just an average cola or fruity fizz. 4. Josta. Josta is another 90s gem that brings back waves of nostalgia for many. It's often hailed as the first energy drink from a major soda company in the US. This high-energy citrus soda was a hit from 1995 to 1999, standing out with its unique blend of guarana and caffeine. The birth of Josta was spurred by the fierce competition between Pepsi and Coca-Cola. In their ongoing battle for supremacy, Pepsi sought to innovate with flavor variations, leading to the creation of Josta. This drink was truly ahead of its time, offering a higher caffeine punch than traditional sodas and a refreshing fruit-forward taste. Despite its promising start, Josta was eventually discontinued, leaving fans wondering why Pepsi pulled the plug. Nevertheless, its impact lingered, with fans even starting a website, savjosta.org, in hopes of resurrecting their beloved beverage. Josta recently resurfaced in a cameo appearance on Marvel's Loki series, serving as a nostalgic nod to its devoted followers. 5. Pepsi Blue. Do you remember the blueberry cola that dared to be different but ended up feeling a little blue itself? That brief splash of blue in the early 2000s, which tried to compete with vanilla Coke, but its bold color and controversial ingredient left some consumers feeling more confused than refreshed. Despite a marketing blitz featuring celebrities like Britney Spears and appearances in films such as Garfield, the movie, and The Italian Job, Pepsi Blue struggled to gain traction. It fell short of sales expectations and was discontinued just a few years after its launch. While it lives on as Pepsi Pina in certain countries, it didn't leave a lasting impression in the United States and isn't among the discontinued sodas people are clamoring to bring back. Next is a soda so bizarre it could have been dreamed up by Willy Wonka himself. 6. Lifesaver Soda. Imagine your favorite Lifesavers candies, but fizzy. Lifesaver Soda promised to capture the vibrant sweetness of those iconic rolls in a liquid form. Based on the iconic Lifesavers candy, this soda came in a range of flavors mirroring the hard candies. Each color of Lifesavers corresponded with a different flavor. Yellow for pineapple, red for fruit punch, orange for, well, orange. You get the idea. While the concept had its appeal, the execution may not have lived up to expectations. It's one of those sodas that stands as a proof to the saying, just because you can doesn't mean you should. 7. Sprite Remix. Even Coca-Cola, with its iconic brands, has faced commercial setback. Sprite, a long-standing favorite, underwent a revamp with Sprite Remix, a bold attempt to reimagine the classic citrus soda. Sprite Remix, heavily marketed, introduced tropical and berry flavors to the mix. Despite Coca-Cola's hopes, it failed to resonate as anticipated. Launched with 3 distinct flavors, Sprite Tropical Remix, Sprite Berry Clear Remix, and Sprite Aruba Jam Remix. Sprite Remix didn't quite capture consumer interest as expected. While Sprite Tropical Remix saw occasional rebrands and re-releases, the other variants faded into obscurity after their discontinuation. Although the concept held promise, Sprite Remix didn't generate enough sales to secure a permanent spot in the brand's lineup. But speaking of classic drinks with unexpected tweaks, it takes us to Coca-Cola with lime. It seemed like a match made in flavor heaven, a refreshing squeeze of citrus to complement the iconic cola. So why did it end up like a flat lime soda left out in the sun? 8. Coca-Cola with lime. Adding a splash of lime to Coca-Cola might seem like a winning combination, but the reality fell short of expectations when it hit the shelves in 2005. Despite its seemingly complementary flavors, this variant failed to gain traction and was quietly pulled from production in 2006. This iteration of Coca-Cola paired its traditional flavor with a hint of lime, aiming to offer a refreshing twist on the classic beverage. However, consumers didn't embrace it as anticipated, leading to its short-lived existence. Both regular and diet versions were available during its brief stint on the market, but even a heavy marketing push, including promotions on American Idol and a remix of Put the Lime in the Coconut, couldn't bolster its popularity. While Coca-Cola with lime occasionally made appearances in freestyle Coca-Cola machines over the years, lackluster sales ultimately prevented it from becoming a mainstay in the Coca-Cola lineup. Next is a nostalgic drink that truly divided the soda lovers. 9. Vault. Vault holds a special place among sodas that people really miss and wish would come back. Coca-Cola released it in 2005, and it stuck around until 2011. It was kind of like a mix between a regular soda and an energy drink, sweet with a caffeine kick. Think of it as a modern version of classics like Mellow Yellow or Surge. People loved Vault for its unique flavor and cool vibe. Coca-Cola went all out with advertising, even airing commercials during the Super Bowl. Vault came in different flavors like peach, grape, and even a zero-calorie option called Vault Zero. Even though it's been gone for a while, fans still hope for its return. There's even a petition for it. Whether it was the iconic green and black can or just the taste, people still crave Vault. Now, let's take a detour into the land of bubblegum soda. Yes, you read that right. Remember Hubba Bubba, the iconic pink chew that filled our childhood and probably our pockets with sticky sweetness? Hubba Bubba soda is one of those sodas that didn't quite make it and doesn't have a huge fan base calling for its return. It came out in 1988, inspired by the popular bubblegum, but it only lasted a few years. The cans were bright pink, just like the gum packaging. It was more of a novelty item, popular for its cool factor, but you'd find it in places like Toys R Us rather than regular grocery stores. In the end, it was a limited release, and it's unlikely to come back anytime soon. It's more of a quirky memory than a beloved classic. Hubba Bubba soda might not have dominated the market, but its short and peculiar existence left a mark on some fizzy fans, which is exactly the case with Sierra Mist. 11. Sierra Mist, a Pepsi lemon lime soda, was a favorite for years until it was unexpectedly discontinued in early 2023. Despite efforts to rebrand it as Mist Twist, it never caught on. Pepsi replaced it with Starry, a new drink aiming to compete more directly with Sprite. Fans were surprised by the change, as Sierra Mist had been a staple in the Pepsi lineup for a long time. 12. Tab, Coca-Cola's first diet soda, had a run of nearly 60 years with its iconic pink can. It paved the way for drinks like Diet Coke and Coke Zero. Initially popular for those watching their weight, Tab faced a setback in the 70s due to concerns about its sweetener saccharin. But still, it remained a favorite until Diet Coke's arrival in 1982, leading to its decline. Coca-Cola discontinued Tab in 2020, leaving behind many nostalgic fans who hope for its return. 13. Mountain Dew Pitch Black, a beloved soda under the Pepsi brand, known for its traditional flavor, but it also introduced Pitch Black, a highly sought-after spin-off. Pitch Black made its debut as a limited release for Halloween in 2004 and became a permanent flavor until 2019. Originally a black grape soda with distinctive dark packaging, Pitch Black gained popularity with its cool Mountain Dew branding. It was a hit as a fountain drink in gas stations and convenience stores, with several successful marketing campaigns and giveaways. Despite its fan base, Pepsi decided to discontinue Pitch Black, leaving many devoted fans hoping for its return to the product lineup. 14. Slice. Before Starry and Sierra Mist, there was Slice, Pepsi's lemon-lime soda, launched in 1984 to rival 7-Up and Sprite. It had flavors like cherry, apple, and orange, and even a diet version. Slice stood out with its 10% juice content, highlighted in its memorable "We Got the Juice" advertising campaign. Although it was discontinued in the 2010s, Slice had a successful run as a competitor to other lemon-lime drinks. Pepsi has a history of introducing sodas to compete with Sprite and similar brands, each having its moment before being replaced. Despite Slice being gone, it's still warmly remembered by soda fans. 15. New Coke. Speaking of relics, let's get into the infamous New Coke. Coca-Cola's attempt to dethrone Pepsi with a sweeter formula backfired spectacularly. Angry customers, some even protesting in the streets, forced them to bring back the original. New Coke is a famous flop in soda history. In 1985, Coca-Cola tried to beat rivals by changing its formula to a sweeter taste like Pepsi, but people hated it. Angry customers flooded with complaints and even protested in the streets. Coca-Cola quickly brought back the original recipe and sales boomed. New Coke, later called Coke 2, was eventually discontinued in 2002 after years of poor sales. It's a big lesson about the importance of keeping loyal customers happy.